Good morning, Miss. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Miss Fahrunisa is my lecturer for English for a specific purpose. So today I would like to show you about my assignment that you just asked us to do, which is making about a video that talking about the journal that we have been looking for that is relatable with our presentation material. So my journal is entitled Managing Finance at the Learning Course of Primagama Veteran Surakarta. So I hope you enjoy it in a few next minutes. So the next interesting part is research method. So what is the research method that is conducted in this journal? So qualitative research is conducted in this journal through literature review to gain the qualitative data, to gain the descriptive data. So that is how the research method in this journal. And by the way, the next is have to learn first about the profile of Primagama itself. So basically, Primagama is a learning course, outside, which is the outside of the formal education that is established in 1982, 10 March, and by the way, it has the market target for the third until 6th grade in elementary school, and then 7 until 9 in junior high school, and then 10 until 12 for senior high school. And by the way, the special program is intended to create the academic achievement for the students, for the US, ujian sekolah, UN, ujian nasional, and then getting into the college through the through the examination. So yeah, and then a little bit story, by the way. So Primagama basically, at the first time just have 2 students in between, and started when it comes to 1966, there were 132 brands around Indonesia, and it becomes more broader through that time. And in 2003 there is 320 branches around Indonesia, so it increased 300%. And in 2015, it has their own management company, or maybe the central of this Primagama, called PT Prima Edu, and by the way, the Prima that I'm talking about right now is one of them, one of the brands in that from the central company. And the location is from Jalan Veteran nomor 287, tipe Surakarta, and this is from the branch from Central Java, from Yogyakarta, Primagama Yogyakarta. So the next interesting part from this journal, we're going to dive down to the core material. So it will be financial management of Primagama Veteran Surakarta. Yeah, basically the writer has been conducted the interview with the chief of Primagama itself, Bu Endar, and there will be 4 parts, but I'm going to the first explanation, which is about the financial planning of educational funding, atau perencanaan penganggaran pembiayaan pendidikan. So the first step that is Primagama doing is that the meeting, they will conduct the meeting toward for 1 year ahead. Yeah, then they will get so much program through 1 year. Then after that, they will sequence and arrange the APBD, or anggaran pembelajaran, anggaran pendapatan dan belanja, funding, through owner and all of the staff getting around together, make discussion about income and outcome for the long term. And then after that, they will be proportional funding classification. So the first is for PAC or Petugas Administrasi Cabang, and then third is for the academic system, third is for the marketing, and then last is for the OB or office boy. And the next part of this material is the educational funding management from Primagama. According to R.G. Ropolo Elefthesia from the book of Financial Management in Greek State School. So he basically divided the school financial management into 4 parts. There should be first decentralization of resource, second is allocation of resource, third is implementation of resource, and the last is common school implementation. But from the Primagama itself, the funding comes around from first owner, second is from students payment, third is from school relation occupation, I mean like kerjasama antara sekolah-sekolah, and then last is from the cafeteria in Primagama itself. By the way, they basically made the funding based on the APBD, that they have a sequence and arrange. If there is unexpected outcomes from the unused money, because when the school doesn't have the activity, there will not be automatically a funding from the school, like I told you in the third part. So there should be an emergency funding to actually anticipate that. Next, financial management from Primagama Veteran Surakarta is auditing and accountability toward the funding of educational, or pengawasan dan akuntabilitas terhadap pembiayaan pendidikan. So the first thing is that all the activity that is conducted, which is the monitoring and responsibility, is conducted directly by the manager itself or from the owner, Bu Enda. So the responsibilities come from her. And in Primagama, there should be at one time per month, doing reporting from all the funding that is comes and in, as the part of responsibility. And this last is the owner itself doing the responsibility by reporting one time per 6 months to the central of the party, which is PT Edu, which is PT Prima Edu. The last part of this financial management of Primagama Veteran Surakarta comes from evaluation toward funding educational, or evaluasi terhadap biaya pendidikan. So there would be several steps in evaluation based on Primagama itself. So the first is that the course, of course, in evaluation, the course should check whether the target or the target of the outcomes is appropriate or not. And if there's still if there is still not appropriate, there should be the next planning, to actually get rid of the things that is inappropriate, and then choosing the best goal next. And then the second is the evaluation should be conducted in every last day of the month, by the owner and all of the staff. And then last is in every last semester, the owner are demanded to report to the central party or PT Prima Edu, for being responsibility about in and outcome, funding during one semester. So we're going to dive down into the last part, or the biggest part of this material, which is digging the problem itself of the Primagama that is happens in Primagama. So the title is the effort of improving the management system in Primagama Veteran Surakarta, or upaya peningkatan sistem manajemen keuangan pada Primagama Veteran Surakarta. So there will be actually 2 things that should be fixed, and it's highly recommended by solution by the writer itself. I'm going to give the explanation about it. So the first is when it comes to salary system for tutor. So basically the students pay, there is no difference, nominal in paying for all of the level of education from the students. But from the tutor salary, there is a classification from the salary until from the elementary until the senior high school. So it is now really, really not good for the tutor itself. So there should be no difference, or we should be making balance in between tutor's salary and age of education level that is paid by the students itself. And the second is that the management of permanent asset. So when it comes to report all of the balance, Primagama that actually does not specifically calculate or report all the stuff like computer, laptop, refrigerator, and so the writers suggest that should be really calculated in order to show profit or non-profit at the end of the period. So after that the reporting will show the truth of the condition.